Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Aesthetics, the Business of Beauty. Today, we have the pleasure of introducing to you Chris Balby, who has a success story that he's going to explain to us about. It's been a 15-year evolution. He's got lots of experience under his belt, and we have lots to learn from him. So today's broadcast.
Go for it.
Yes, we're so excited. Because this is a true story, and I love true stories. I know people love it too. An example for those of us who are aspiring and want to learn from those who have done it. Been there, done that. But today's broadcast is brought to you by Med Spa Well. It's a marketing company that helps med spas build their client base. And Chris is an expert at building client bases. So let's dive right into Chris's background. He's an amazing human being who I said has been in the med spa space for about 15 years. He opened Misha Aesthetics with one injector, one esthetician, one room, and 125 followers on Instagram. Today, he manages 5 locations, 56 employees, 24 of whom are providers, and maybe that number has changed by now, but we'll find out. And he has over 27,000 followers on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram at Botox by Misha. He also has 72,000 followers on TikTok.
It's been a journey.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's been a journey. And I think one of the most exciting things about that metric, especially the Instagram one particularly, is that we've committed to never paying for followers. It's been one of those journeys where so many people around us are seeming to be growing overnight. And once you find out that they're paying for their followers, it kind of is a kick in the butt because you're like, should I be doing that? And my word of advice right off the bat is never do that, especially because the followers you're paying for aren't local. And remember that you're trying to grow and own a business here. And so you want to make sure that you're only providing content to people who may end up in your treatment chair.
Absolutely. So let's begin with the beginning. How did you get into the med spa business?
So I actually have a degree in theater and business, and I started in the auto industry for like 6 months, and I tried working in theaters, and unfortunately I wanted a little bit more money than theaters could provide. And so I ended up taking a front desk position at my current med spa just to kind of get my foot in the door, and I ended up falling in love with social media. And I kind of took the reins on for social media. So I would be spending like a third of my day doing front desk work, and a third of my day doing social media work, and a third of my day, assisting my injector. The initial injector was actually my mother, and she still runs the business with me. And so between my mom and my co-partner, Lisa, we have grown the business ever since. It's definitely been one of those journeys where I have learned a lot along the way, which has helped us grow. I will definitely say that social media has been the biggest asset. We kind of treat each day like our own little reality show with none of the drama and all of the fun, is what I like to say. So we started with that one injector, one co-owner, and an esthetician. We quickly brought on an esthetician manager to help grow that department. We moved from one room upstairs in a dental office to a lower level where we expanded to 6 rooms. And less than 6 weeks later, we realized that 6 rooms was not enough. So we went to 15 rooms. And there are a good balance of estheticians and injectors. Over that time, I gave up the reins of front desk, hired a front desk team, a phone manager, a chief financial officer, because I realized I couldn't do it all. So nowadays, I kind of oversee everybody while also handling the marketing myself. We picked up some other great injectors along the way who've been our like rocks. Some other great injectors and our esthetician manager have really helped our business grow. And like I said, circling back, it's really been the social media aspect. People always comment and compliment that they know us before they get here. And that's so important because they're trusting us with their face, right? So people get to know us online first. And by the time they get to the chair, they've already gotten to know us and they feel much more comfortable with our suggestions.
Wow. Wow. And you were a pioneer at this, I think. Social media
Yeah.
hasn't been that used that often.
Listen, I grew up in the MySpace days back in the day when I was learning how to code and picking my top 8 friends. From MySpace, it really was Instagram and Facebook that took off for us. And a little behind the scenes, Nell, is that I'm really not putting as much energy into Facebook anymore. It's just kind of become a volatile place, which has been kind of a struggle for us a little bit because I don't get the reach I used to get. And, I focus more on my Instagram page these days as my clientele kind of shifts to that. Even my market of my 40s, 50s, and 60-year-olds are finding themselves more so on Instagram. There's less pollution there, if you will. Post-pollution is what I mean by that. And so they end up enjoying their time there a bit more. So a lot of my effort has been in the Instagram world. And I remember hitting our first 10,000 followers and celebrating that, and then 20,000. And all that, kind of it's been kind of a bell curve and a quick slope growth.
Wow. There's so much wrapped into that. Can you kind of unpackage that a little bit? I know. Yeah, it's like on a day-to-day basis. So the migration from Facebook to Instagram, because Instagram is a little more mature.
Come with me, Nell, on a journey. We're going to go back in time a little bit. It really started, and we're not going to get political at all, but it really started in the politics season of like 2018, when everyone was just fighting so much on Facebook that it wasn't a fun place to be anymore. People used to go to Facebook for recipes and pictures of pets and family, keeping up with family, but then it became a place to argue, and it just wasn't a positive environment. So on Instagram, there's a lot less talking and a lot more visuals. So I'm going to throw in random little tidbits and tricks and tips throughout the entire show today, but the big thing I have to tell you is that keep your text off of Instagram. People are not on Instagram to look at text, right? They're on Instagram to see images. So one of the big trip ups I see that med spas are making is that they're posting specials and promos on Instagram and using words. Nobody wants to go to Instagram and see 15% off filler, right? They want to see the before and afters, or they want to see the treatment in progress. And you can advertise those things on an Instagram story or, a little bit later. But it really, when it comes down to creating content and a feed, you want to make sure that you're really pushing and leaning into those images, people and services and your office and behind the scenes. Once you fall into the trap of using stock images and words, and I love Canva, don't get me wrong, but it's so easy to just post quote after quote, and then people tune you out, right? They can get their quotes and their words from Twitter or from Facebook or X, or when they come to Instagram, they really want to see pictures. So once we took on that identity, and another big thing we've done on Instagram is every Tuesday we give stuff away and we leverage giveaways on our Instagram. And a big part of that every Tuesday, we call it Trivia Tuesday, where we give away 5 units of Botox or a $100 gift card. And that is my entire marketing budget right there. So it sounds expensive, but every Tuesday I give away 20, 30, 40 units of Botox. And at the end of the day, the number of eyes that are joining us from those contests will way outweigh the cost of the 50 units of Botox for my team. So once that kind of got the ball rolling, we kind of have a structure here where it's More Info Monday, where we give more information about a specific topic, and then Trivia Tuesday, where we recap everything we learned on Monday. And then it's Way Back or Winter Wednesday, where we talk about services that are kind of outdated a little bit and how they've been replaced. And then it's Throwback Thursday, which is usually about our office staff. And then Feel Good Friday is when we announce our winner from Tuesday's contest. So we have a structure and it works for us. And I definitely invite everyone to use that as well.
Right. And it sounds like you've introduced a lot of innovation into your marketing.
It's been, there's no, and I say this all the time, there's no manual for for owning or running a med spa, right? So a lot of what we have to do is find our own path. And a lot of finding our own path is, walking a little bit down one path and realizing it's too muddy and backing up and picking another path and realizing that's too dark. And so we back up and we pick another path and we realize that one is the right path, right? It's a lot of trial and error. And so I always tell people, nobody has a memory on social media. So try something. And if it fails, there's the tomorrow as well. Try it again.
Right. Well, so you've been innovative, and also you're willing to try something different, and maybe in the hopes that it's even better than what you tried before.
Yeah.
So
Which I don't know if it's time to segue or not already, but that's how Repeat MD came about. We've been using Repeat MD, which is our kind of rewards, retention, memberships, and packages system. And that came out of a trial and error. We asked our clients on Instagram, would you guys be into memberships? Would you guys be into rewards? Would you be into packages and payment plans? And Repeat MD had come up in conversation, and we ran into them at a trade show. For those of you guys listening now who don't know, Repeat MD is an app-based software that gives you the ability to manage your clients' rewards, packages, and memberships. I couldn't do that on my own. I needed a third-party software. So we picked them up March of 2022, or March of 2023. I'm sorry, and it's been crazy for us. We ended up, having $1 million in sales in the first 6 months on the app.
wow. That's amazing. That's totally amazing. So Repeat MD, yes, it's a white label free mobile app that any med spa can use, right?
Absolutely.
And,
their onboarding process, I don't work for the company, but I can definitely tell you their onboarding process has been seamless. I mean, it was easy to do on my end. I will let you know, though, it does require dedication and time. It's not like you can open the box and use it. You have to decide, well, what are my packages going to be? What are my rewards going to be? What's my memberships going to be? That does take time to set out. And even that's a little trial and error. Why aren't my memberships selling? Are they not lucrative enough? Do they not offer enough rewards? So it's definitely something to keep in mind.
Right, absolutely. So yes, with any tool, knowing how to use it and knowing all the functionalities, the capabilities that it has, getting your value out of the investment that you've made.
Absolutely.
Totally important. Yes.
And that as well has been trial and error. After 6 months, we launched Misha. We call our Repeat MD software Misha Plus. And after 2 months, we launched Misha Plus 2.0 because we just realized that we knew what was working and what wasn't. And so we took a step up and changed things out and got rid of what wasn't and switched out what was and made it a stronger platform.
Mm-hmm. Okay, absolutely. So, and then the support staff at Repeat MD, how were they to work?
They're great. So I can give shout outs to a lot of people. Christine, who I work with specifically, but Lottie is an amazing woman who's been designing the app from the ground up. And you'll probably never get to talk to her or meet her because she's on the design team, but she's just been so cool, and her team with Jack has just been able to answer any questions. So overall, my experience with Repeat MD has been so solid, and I can't recommend them enough. But again, I have to specify now, Repeat MD it's like, the expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yes.
That's pretty much what Repeat MD is. You can lead yourself to this platform, but if you're not going to talk about it day in and day out, you're going to lose your money on it, right? You have to really put that effort in.
Put that effort in. And you've done a little customizing with the application.
Yeah, and honestly, everything we've talked about so far, Nell, and everything we do talk about, Instagram and TikTok and Repeat MD, it's all about cultivation. We could have an entire webinar, seminar, a podcast on branding. That's cultivation, right? We could have a whole nother episode on, a patient experience. Those are all things as well. And I don't want to stray too far, but I think the biggest hiccup I see with med spas is that they give up too easy. I think that the problem is that, I didn't get 16 followers today. I'm not posting it again on Instagram. I didn't sell 4 memberships today, so I'm not pushing it tomorrow. Well, I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. And, if you're not going to keep pushing and trying, you're not going to be successful.
No, that's right. You keep tweaking a good recipe. You get more out of it, and keep learning each time you go. And the results are ways to learn. Don't you say?
Absolutely. There's something to be said for that reward for when you finally reach your goals and you end up, with that sale or with that, package sold or the memberships or whatnot. That's your reward. And that's when you have to take that moment, but just a brief moment, and really pat yourself on the back for doing it well.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll have to give you a kudo too, Chris, because you've been so forthcoming, helping your colleagues and your fellow medical spa
Listen,
owners.
I'm going to tell you the biggest secret to this industry is this following sentence. Write it down, get it tattooed on your forearm. Don't actually get it tattooed. Community over competition. If people could just remember that as long as we're all doing well, we're all going to do well. So what I'm diving into the community over competition thing, I will only ever be successful if everyone around me is successful in terms of giving fair pricing. Because if everyone around you starts dropping their price to $6 a unit, we all have to do that. And that's not fun. And if everyone around you is watering down their Botox, and if everyone around you is, not practicing legal techniques and practices, and then you end up scaring people away from aesthetic procedures, right? It's these injectors who are like too big for their britches and have only ever treated 2 patients and think that they can offer a $4 syringe of filler because they want to get the practice, and they're just pumping it out and they're not taking the time to really get to know their patients. And then that patient ends up looking a little silly, and then they're afraid of injectables and they tell their friends to be afraid of injectables. It just spirals, right? So if we can all agree to focus on community over competition, I think we're stronger.
Right, absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. And also to add to that, there's loyalty that you are like the clients and the patients. They have a preferred provider, and they will follow that preferred provider. There's a relationship that evolves between. So can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to my previous point about like lowering your Botox prices to try and poach other clients. Like, I don't know, that just seems shady and rude. And, we all work really hard to maintain relationships, and the best results are the results that are done over time. And for that to happen, we need that loyalty. And so as long as we can work together so that clients stay loyal, we're all going to get better outcomes in the end, because the loyalty is not just about a bottom line and financial loyalty. It's also about the best results. Everyone's going to look better with 4 syringes over 6 months rather than doing 4 syringes in one sitting. So if I start with 2 syringes and then my client jumps to another office because there's a weird promo, that client is getting a disservice done to them, So it really is about that loyalty. And, part of circling back to Repeat MD has helped that loyalty, because we end up being able to do what's called our check-ins with the Repeat MD app. For those of you who don't know, clients use their phone to scan a QR code at check-in. Every 4 check-ins gets them a reward. And that kind of helps incite that loyalty, because the clients want to stack those rewards up, right? So it's definitely been something that's helped keep clients more loyal to our offices, because they can actually see those rewards before they earn them, and they know what they're working towards.
Yes, absolutely. And it might even be a nice surprise that they weren't expecting, a little bonus, right?
Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest, like the capital on these equipment, it can be expensive, but when you realize what you don't have to lose to give something away. For example, one of our rewards is a cleanser, and the cleanser costs me $40, and I give it to the client complimentary. But as a business person, I know that they're going to be hooked on that cleanser, hopefully, and then make that purchase in 3 to 4 months, right? So that's like kind of my end game, and I'm transparent with my clients. I will tell them that to their face. I will tell them all, like, hey, this is benefiting you today because I'm hoping that it benefits me in 3 to 4 months.
And they'll appreciate that you introduced them to that new product.
Absolutely, for sure.
Known about it had you not interested. Yeah, so that's another area where people can feel like you have their best interests at heart, because it's a product that they need, that creates the results they're looking for, and they're happy.
Absolutely, and it's only all for their benefit, you know?
Right, right, absolutely. So then on top of the rewards, you also have a membership program?
So we have 3 membership levels: silver, gold, and rose gold, and they all come with like two sides to the story. The left side is what you're paying for monthly, and that's going to be your treatment. So, for example, your rose gold membership gets you one of 5 things: a Brazilian, a microneedle, 30 units of Botox, an IV bag, and B12 shot, and you can pick which one you want every month. Now, because
Mhm.
you're committing to that for 4 months, you also get the other side of the card, which are just rolling benefits. So anytime you come in, you get 10% off products, you get members only giveaways, you get active rewards and other kind of fun things that keep you coming back. So I'm actually impressed with us. And, it sounds silly to say this, but we sold 146 memberships, and that's more than I wanted to or expected to. I really thought memberships were going to be a slower rollout, but people are loving them because part of the thing is the membership rewards roll. And so I'm finding a lot of people are using them as a Botox club. So if they get 30 units every month, they don't visit me every month. They just let them roll over. So they got
Mhm.
30 units in January, 30 units in February. They didn't visit yet. 30 units in March. They didn't visit yet. When they visit me in April, they have 90 units to play with. And they've paid it over time, right? So it kind of
Right.
becomes a sort of built-in payment plan, which has been nice.
Oh, that is nice. That's another way to think about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would things seem to me that people like to give gifts to themselves too. A
Es
membership to yourself would be a nice gift.
Especially in a post-pandemic world, people feel very fortunate to be alive, and they spent so much time in their homes that now that we're out of our homes again, they like to give themselves a little gift.
And a membership is a great way to
Uh,
gift yourself.
when I was initially introducing it, I was letting people know it's a way to commit to yourself. A
Mhm,
membership is a commitment to your own health and beauty.
Oh, that's another way to, another aspect of it that's a benefit for your clients,
For sure.
definitely. So, December is gifting month. Are you running a big December program
So
promotion?
every year we do the same promotion. It's buy $100 gift card, get a bonus $20. And
Wow.
so what that ended up being and looking like was up to $1,000. You can visit any of our holiday pop-ups, and you can purchase gift cards. And then again, for every $100 you load onto it, you get a bonus $20. And that bonus $20 doesn't kick in until the new year. So that's kind of my way of retention.
Mm.
So you're going to not only get that gift card, you can use it now, but you're also going to come back and visit me in January, February, March, April, etc., and use that bonus money, which is good.
This is very, very good. Very good for you. Good for the patient too.
It
And
really
then
has.
they tell their friends about these
Well, not
great
only that,
benefits.
but they can give that bonus $20 to friends if they wanted. It's not
Oh,
saying their name.
that's wonderful. Well, is this is a way to kind of share the wealth,
Share the
with
holiday joy.
and knowledge, yes, and experiences, and everything. So, walk us through what an experience is like at Misha's when a patient comes in for the first time. What
Well,
is it like for
the
them?
experience actually goes back a little further.
Oh,
It's actually when you text us. So our phone team is highly trained and repeatedly trained to give you a warm, fuzzy feeling before you even step foot in. We always introduce ourselves via text message. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm super excited to help you with this journey today. Are you looking to visit us in our Allentown or etc. office? So it kind of starts with like introducing who we are first. And then before your first visit, you're introduced to that Repeat MD Misha Plus software. Okay, at your visit, we want to help you save $25. To do that, please sign up for this before you arrive. Kind of saves our front desk some work then as well. Once you arrive, we do our best to greet you by name. You're offered a coffee or a cup of water. We always ask, and if you're a patient listening to this, we always ask if you could use the restroom first. One of our newest little time buses is that patients will wait until they're in the treatment chair and they'll be like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, you're just in the waiting room. So that's definitely an experience as well. Once in our waiting room, you're introduced to a couple before and after photos. There are QR codes around to scan. We have this We call it the Misha Magic Claw Machine. You know, like at arcades, they have the claws, the prize claws. We have one built for us that you can grab skincare. Fun. So you get a token to play that while you wait. We invite you to check in on social media, and then you get to the treatment room, and we have a big policy here, a big policy: no treat and repeat. So you're always greeted with, you know, if it's your first time, what are your goals? And if it's not your first time, it's how was your last treatment? We talked about this and that. What would you like to partake in today? It's not same as last time. You know, it's definitely more of an expansive experience. At your treatment, you know, we go over all your post-care instructions. We walk you out to the front desk and we let you know, hey, here how we can save you some money today with rewards like Ali Rewards or Aspire. And then from there, we hopefully get them signed up and get a repeat client, and they come back in 3 to 4 months or whatever their dictation from their injector says.
I'm just impressed at how many touches.
Absolutely.
You know, one visit.
You know, and that's kind of why I said I have 56 staff members and 24 treatment or 24 providers. Well, the other 20 plus are there to help guide the patient.
Yes, and just bring them in, make them feel comfortable, answer questions, keep them active and busy, interactive, and thinking about Misha the whole time.
Every time. And then we'll circle back to the Repeat MD. They have I mentioned that QR scan check-in. If you don't scan or check in within 90 days or after 90 days, you're sent a text message that says, hey, you haven't checked in a while. Here's 20% off your next visit. So that's kind of what people back as well.
Yeah, 20%. That seems like it's a lot. But
I think it's 20% off skincare products is what I have it set as right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But anyway, it grabs your attention because it is I think that's
it's substantial.
It's a threshold, I think, for people becoming really interested in something, the 20%. Just a nice experience.
You know what's funny? You say that it's a nice round number, but in my marketing, I keep telling you I'm trying different things, right? I've been trying odd numbers lately. So, for example, for Halloween, we did 13% off Botox because 13 is an unlucky number, spooky season, Halloween. And then for Christmas, we did 12% off, I think, filler because the 12 days of Christmas. So people, it's all about stopping the scroll. So when you're scrolling through Instagram and you see 12% off, people are like, what, 12%?
I said, yes, is it a typo? Yeah. Exactly. And the other thing I'm struck about as you talk is you're having fun.
Oh my gosh, this is my favorite part. I really do enjoy my job. You know, I always say my favorite part of the job is the marketing. It's what I think I was born to do. The hardest part about the job is I think managing people, because I'm such a people pleaser that, you know, it's kind of hard to juggle all my employees. But outside of that, I really do wake up and love going to work every day. And I love talking about marketing. I love sharing what works. And honestly, the biggest secret really is doing it. A lot of people say they're going to. I used to be an on-the-spot trainer. I used to travel to different med spas and I would train them. I stopped. The reason I stopped is I would take all this time to train people and they would pay me and it was great. But then I would leave and they wouldn't do what we talked about them doing. And I felt like they were wasting their money at that point then, right? Because you paid me. So, you know, I wouldn't mind getting back into that. But the problem is once I leave, you have to do it. And that's the best part.
Yes, otherwise it's a waste of everybody's time and money. Yes, really. So you have an operations manager probably now who offloads some of that.
So I have a coworker named Rachel and a coworker named Lisa who both kind of handle the day-to-day inventory management, making sure that we have stuff at every office. And, you know, it takes pressure off of me, which is really nice.
Yeah, super. So everybody's doing what they love to do. Then that way the whole place is productive.
Absolutely. And look forward to coming to work.
Yes, absolutely. It's fun. Let's go back to earlier this year where you had this mega promotion around Barbie. Can you tell me step by step?
Absolutely. So every year we used to do a Christmas in July promotion. And I thought, okay, that's kind of fun. I can get behind this. But I was bored. So I have done Christmas in July every year for the last 4 years. So I looked around and I saw that this big new movie, the Barbie movie, was coming out, and they were dumping a lot of marketing dollars into that. So I thought, okay, well, why don't I do what's called newsjacking, which is where you hijack what's going on in the news and use it for your own benefit. So we took a stab at it and worked out really well. We related it to Barbie's dream house, and we told everyone on one day only, we're going to give you the key to Barbie's dream house. And it just so happened that the key to Barbie's dream house was going to be a promo code on our Misha Plus app where you could save 20% on anything. So you
Wow.
had one day to use it. It worked out in our benefit, I'll be honest with you, because unfortunately for my clients, and fortunately for me, I have no way to control the service fees of the app in terms of credit card processing fees. It's a big hot topic right now. And so I ended up being able to put those credit card processing fees, which would be substantial for one day in sales, spread
Yes.
out on all my clients, which helped our company out a lot because I was already getting 20% off. And so if I would have had to take the credit card fees as well, that would have been a little bit hardy on my bank account. So
Yes.
we guided up to it. We educated patients for a whole week that it was coming. The day of, I was flying from Philadelphia to Dallas during all of this. And from the air, I ran this entire promotion. So we sent out an email first, got in people's inboxes. And then at like 10 o'clock, we posted online. And then at 11 o'clock, we texted everybody. And by the end of the day, we had crossed the $500,000 mark.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah.
impressive. $500,000.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
exhausting though. I mean, I answered a lot of questions that day. I'll say one of the hardest parts about my job is trying not to disappoint clients when they like missed a promo and then they want it. But if I keep
Oh.
extending it, then I can't. I always tell people if I extend my promos, I don't have room for other ones.
Right, right, right. So, and you also had parties for your staff too to get them behind it.
Absolutely. So it's not just the me show, right? It's also about all my staff members. So we ended up putting pink balloons and cookies and banners and decorations and costumes and wigs and champagne at all my offices for after work, of course. And it just kind of gave them an opportunity to play into it.
Oh yes, and so everybody's behind it. All of
Absolutely.
your staff members, Misha and your vendors and other people who are associated with you. They can help you promote it to people
Sure.
they know. So there's a nice ripple effect, and everybody's having fun, including you while you're flying, running this promo.
Philadelphia to Dallas.
Yeah, oh, that's quite a stretch that you
I had time.
traversed
So I
across
had,
the country.
yeah.
Yeah, and you did this with Repeat MD. It's one of the vehicles you
I
did
did.
this with?
So
Is it right?
I listed what are called beauty banks, which are basically like preemptively buying gift cards that you can use at my
Mhm.
office. And the reason it's exciting is that with Repeat MD and Affirm, you can actually pay those off over time. So that
Mm.
day, you could buy a $100 gift card for $800 and
Mhm.
you pay that $800 off over 6 months. But the day you bought it, you could use $1,000 with us because you bought the $1,000 beauty bank. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. A beauty bank. Yeah, it's a really wonderful concept too for people who want something and you help them
Yeah.
acquire it, afford it, buy it. So, and then the results and then they keep coming back because they're very happy with the service they've gotten and how they look.
Absolutely.
Correct. Yes, yes. Well, that sounds like it's a big old party every time you throw a promotion.
So we're currently doing a pop-up shop right now. It's an in-person promotion. We have 4 offices popped up around the East Coast in Pennsylvania specifically, where you can take advantage of a specific promotion, but you can only do it in person. So we're trying that out this year to get people. I don't know. Now I kind of miss Christmas. I miss the holiday spirit, and I feel like
Yeah.
so many people are just shopping online, and I miss
Oh,
that camaraderie. And so we're trying to bring it back a little bit.
well, and that's very wonderful of you. You're tapping into some
Some nostalgia.
oldies. Yes, uh-huh. Yep. And so you're very sensitive to people's needs and wants.
Yes,
I'm observing that. Yeah. So, which makes you a natural marketer, being able to meet people's needs and wants.
that's the goal. That is the goal.
So, Misha has been around for 15 years, and your mother is one of your
My
partners.
boss's partners, yeah. So we've been together we've been together for 33 years now. That's how old I am, but we've been together in the practice since day one.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then she has been an aesthetics provider.
the entire
Um,
time. Yeah. So she just
career.
recently ranked in the top 100 injectors nationwide,
Oh,
and is a national trainer as well for Allergan and Galderma, and Ability Institute. So she's also training.
mhm.
She's training and injecting and running the practice.
Oh, well, she's just a gifted, very busy woman,
Yes, very.
and giving back.
We're
Make,
currently opening up our next location. It's going to be a wellness center that
okay.
focuses on dermatology and hormone therapy, and that's slated to open in February.
Oh, excellent. So talk us through that. Oh, so
So
how did that come to fruition?
all started. We realized that we've been doing this for 15 years. So if the average age of our client when we started was 35, that client is now 50. And so
Oh,
we thought, what do women in their 50s need? Or I shouldn't say need, nobody needs anything, but they might want hormone therapy. They might want dermatology services. They might want services that are a bit more invasive. So we're
mhm,
creating a space for our more invasive procedures to kind of turn it into a more one-day event where you might get a full face laser or you might get
mhm.
hormone therapy. So it's going to be a different environment. Same kind of services, but a different environment.
Okay, so there's a bit of a transition that you're making career-wise.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about hormone therapy as we speak, and trying to get a good handle on that. I do think it's the next wave. I think that menopause is an under talked about um, ailment, if you will, affliction. I
Mhm,
don't know, it's hard because it happens to everybody. And I don't like to call part of our lives an ailment, right? It's about embracing it and trying to
mhm,
find a way to navigate it. And that's kind of what we're taking on here is trying to find a way to help these women navigate their menopause.
mhm,
And it's not always
mhm,
about treating it, it's always about navigating. So it is a whole
mhm.
another system and things I'm learning about how to handle.
Right, right, right. And you've touched on a nuance I think is really important to the navigation versus the
It's so
yeah.
funny that we're talking about this because one of my goals, I really want to do this, is I want to start offering menopause classes for men,
Mm,
particularly men or husbands, because a lot
mhm,
of times that it's a mystery to men and they'd rather not learn about it. But if we can force men to learn about what women are going through, they can
mhm.
help navigate it with their partners, right? It's
Yeah.
it's not about tuning them out, and it's not about not listening or not hearing. It's okay, you're having a hot flash. I understand what a hot flash is, and I understand how to help you. Talk to me,
Mhm.
rather than just like I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to embrace that it's going to happen to almost everybody, and we're
Right,
trying to help them through that.
right. And men are going through hormonal changes too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't tell anyone, but that's the whole thing we're trying to get at is we bring them in, telling them that we're going to teach them about menopause. And we're really going to teach them what's going on in their body.
Right, right, right. And it gives them a safe space to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
This is a little bit taboo. I mean, in public circle, in open circles, but in
Oh, yeah.
closed circles,
You talk
yeah.
about taboo, and we don't need to spiral into it, but also sexual health. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's not a taboo subject, right? If
Mhm,
you don't talk about it, it becomes taboo. And so we're trying to create a space for men and women who might have erectile dysfunction or might have vaginal dryness, a space that they can
mhm.
get those items treated without feeling like it's a taboo subject.
Right. Yeah. Good point too. We to talk about it in a caring, healthy way.
Yeah,
And keep it out of the taboo space. It
right.
is. It's should be talked about
That's
for everybody's well-being. Right.
absolutely.
Right. No, I applaud you for going down that path. I think that's a very needed, and to be able to create a place where everyone can seek treatment, so they can be the sexual aspects of their life can also be
Absolutely.
helped.
Life's too short to not live life.
Yeah, exactly. All have all the cylinders kicking,
Yeah,
right? Kicking.
absolutely.
Yeah, as long as possible.
For sure.
Yeah, and science is moves so quickly along those lines as well. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the science that you've come across?
I
You're
can't.
now
I
learning.
can't, not yet. I mean, I can tell you about the evolution of social media right away, but when it comes to the science about, sexual health and hormone therapy, it changes so rapidly. I don't have a handle on it yet, and I wouldn't want to misspeak. So I'm not in a
Right.
state to speak about that quite yet.
Yeah.
But hey, if you come back to me in 3 to 4 months, I'll let you know.
All right, let's do that. We'll come back in 3 or 4 months because I know you've got a learning curve that you're traversing, you're climbing,
I
and
am.
we all do. And I would like to learn from you as you learn. I think that would be
Absolutely.
beneficial for everyone. Yeah, good. All right. Oh, is there something else about Misha that you think kind of would help other people to know about?
I honestly think that the one thing I'll let people know is you have to find the fine line in this word. It's one of my new favorite words is edutainment. It's part education and part entertainment. You have to find the fine line of that. You can't spend your entire time drabbling on about science, but you can't
Hmm.
spend your entire time doing TikTok dances, right? You have to find that fine line of letting people know that you know what you're talking about, but you're not
Hmm.
stuck. And you have to find the fine line of helping people get what they want and need, but not always what they need and not always what they want, right? Some people
Yeah.
want more syringes in their lips. That's too much. Some people need
Hmm.
hormone therapy, but not from you. You need to give them to a psychologist or, a
Hmm.
doctor who knows a bit more. So I think what makes Misha different is we've always found the line, right? You find the line where it's not entertainment, it's not education, it's the middle. It's not about what every client wants, it's not about what every client needs, it's the middle. It's not
Hmm.
about being super serious, it's not about being super fun, it's the middle. It's always that middle line. So I think you have to find your line and ride it. It's the one thing that I
Hmm.
tell people.
Yes, and then there's a word as you're talking. There's a word that comes up into my mind, and there's that word trust. So,
Absolutely.
which is so key. So,
And I think what you have to do to build trust with your clients is really take it slow.
mhm,
I think a lot
mhm,
of providers try and cram 20 patients into a day and they wear it as a badge of honor. I'd rather
mhm,
see 10 clients a day that I have a good connection with than 20
mhm,
clients a day that I'm just swiping their credit cards to take their money.
mhm.
And to do
Sure,
that, I'm going to give you that trust.
yeah, sure. And when you're finding advising MISPA owners to find that middle line as to who they are,
Yeah.
and they're not trying to
Personality.
be something that they're not trying
Absolutely.
to. Yeah, okay, and that's what came across to me. Just wanted to run that by you. See if that's what you were
I
meaning.
agree. I agree.
Oh, okay, amazing, amazing. So when you're training, let's go back to the training aspect here because I think what you said, the training, implementing the training is where the rubber meets the road. They
Yes,
can
for
do
sure.
all the training that they need and want, but
So the way that my trainings were always set up, they were about 3 hours long. And the first hour was me drabbling on, and it was important, but you had to learn the basics. We had a couple acronyms to learn, and we had to learn the basics of Instagram and Facebook and things like that. The second hour was me creating 25 posts specific for that person's med spa. And that
mhm,
last hour was you creating 25 posts on your own to prove to yourself that you can do it. So, it was long. They were definitely sessions that dragged on, but people got a lot out of them. Um, I think that once I left, though, people were overwhelmed and thought, "Oh gosh, I have to do this on my own." I remember a couple spas that did make it, and it was because they took that calendar, the social media calendar we created, and
mhm,
really put it to use for the first couple months and saw how fun it was, uh,
mhm,
and saw how amazing it was to get that attention,
mhm,
how amazing it was to turn those into leads. So
mhm,
I think the most important part to go back to when I was doing my trainings was that not every interaction is going to be a lead on social media, but every interaction is going to be someone who's watching and could turn into a lead at any moment.
mhm. That's right. That's right. And the number of touches does that matter? That's
According to research studies, you have to touch a client 7 times virtually before they become an in-person client.
mm-hmm.
Something to keep in
Okay.
mind.
Take note, students out there. And keep at it. Be consistent.
Absolutely. And just because one day wasn't great, I mean, at the time of this presentation, it's December 6th, 2023. I have
Mhm.
a Facebook post right now that's not doing well today, but it's
Oh,
not getting to me. I mean, it happens to me still these days. It's, I'm
mhm.
talking specifically about one of my locations, and my Facebook audience is not a fan of that location. Uh,
Mm.
that's not my audience for them. And so, on Instagram, I have 400 likes on this photo, and on Facebook, I have 6. Right. So, like, it me too. It's not just a you thing. And tomorrow's another day, though. We're gonna find something new to talk about, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And you've got 7 days of a calendar, a 5-day calendar.
You actually bring up a really good point. One of my favorite, little tidbits or tricks is post on the weekends. Your competitors aren't. So you do. You fill up the space.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's more
Good.
audience and less people to fight with on the weekends.
All right, good. We've got a nugget there. Not that there haven't been more that have preceded this, but they've been coming fast and furiously and then funnily. It's been lots of fun. We're not quite done yet. And I know we've been kind of going all over the place, but I hope it doesn't feel
I
too,
ramble. My bad.
well, I kind of rambled with you and maybe I caused it too. But it just, some things that you say spark an idea, and I just have to ask you about it. And that's kind of how this has been going. It's been really stimulating, very exciting. There's just one last. So we've been on for about almost a quarter of an hour, and it seems like we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
But how do you measure success for your posts?
It's a really good question.
Mm.
On a very topical level, if I can reach just one new person, I call that a success, but that's hard to measure. So
Mhm.
physically, with metrics, you can look at likes and comments and shares, and that's great. I mean, they're there for a reason. But for
Mhm.
me, what I look forward to most is the comment interaction and engagement. And I use that as my metric of success. Did I start a conversation? Did I educate one person today? Did one person take one step closer? So,
Mhm.
in the grand scheme of things, I can never track my new patients to a specific post. I just have to know I track every month how many new patients I saw. And as long as that number stays steady or goes up, I feel good. If that number
Mhm.
takes a decline, I start questioning, was my Instagram slow this month? Did I not post the right stuff? So it really does
Mhm.
vary. But as far as a metric of success, in a very fluffy answer, did I add positive things to the conversation? That's how I value my success.
Yes, good. You're not just repeating what's already been said,
Oh,
but add to it. Yeah, no, that's a value add in my mind, definitely. So, are you available for training still?
yeah,
Can
I mean,
people
I'm
reach out to you?
expensive. So I know, just kidding. I am still available for trainings. I only take on clients that I know are serious, right?
Mm,
So, and for that, that means I mean, I joke about being expensive, but that means you're going to fly me to wherever you are. That's
mhm,
kind of how I mark if you're going to take this seriously or not. I'm going to
mm,
come prepared, right? I'm going to have the information you need. There's going to be worksheets, there's going to be presentations, there's going to be time set aside for you. But a lot of clients are like, well, I'm in California, so can we do it virtually? I'm like, no, because what happens with virtual presentations and trainings is, you're on your phone or your dog is barking or something. You're not getting
mhm.
the most out of it.
That's
So
right.
I want you to take it so serious that you fly me to you, and
Mhm,
wherever you want, or drive or train or whatever, you set
mm,
aside 3 hours and we go from there.
mhm.
I don't do virtual trainings anymore. I didn't find them to be productive, and I stalk the people that I train. I stalk them on Instagram the next weeks after I'm done, and I'm like, hello, you just spent $3,000 on a training, and what's going on here?
Where's
Hello.
your post? Oh my gosh. No, so you're interested in your clients being as
Yeah,
successful as
I'm not it's not just like I'm gonna train you and leave. That's not my personality, and I'm always accessible to my clients. I'm always like, "Hey, do you need a quick file Photoshop? I got you." Like, but I just need a little bit more gravitas for my clients to let me know that they're gonna take it seriously.
right, right, right. So, okay, so those are Are there any other services that you provide medical spa owners?
I'm more than happy to, pop in for social media training. I'm more than happy to pop in for on-site Repeat MD training, getting those started.
Awesome.
I'm an open book, right? Like consultant wise, you have to tell me what you're looking for, so I come prepared, and I
Oh,
can bring it to you.
oh, right. You're so great, Chris. That's amazing and so wonderful. Like you said in the very beginning, medical spa is a community.
All trades. I have a little bit of knowledge on everything.
And proven knowledge too that actually it works.
I got you.
Yeah, it has to. Now, so for people who are in the Philadelphia area, which is where you are based, what would you like to say to them?
So the Philadelphia office, I would like to say to everyone, stop trying to be cheap in terms of like lowering your prices.
Mhm.
Like I just want everyone to be successful. And for that to happen, we have to stop cutting each other down and trying to poach each other's clients.
Mhm.
Just stay in your lane, reach out if you need help, but don't try and absorb another clientele, That's what I
Mhm.
say to them.
Yes, and the demand is increasing for aesthetics procedures, isn't it? More and
Um,
more people for aesthetic procedures.
honestly, honestly, it's growing at a faster rate than I ever thought possible, but it's not growing faster than the number of med spas. So there are more med spas in the areas that I work in than ever before. And so it's been hard to not get competitive because, like I told you, community over competition.
Mhm.
I guess my biggest word of advice to any nurse or doctor who thinks that this is an easy field to get into, it's not. You're
Mhm.
not coming in at the right time anymore. I mean, I
Mhm.
applaud, I'm a big cheerleader for everybody, but if you had asked me 4 years ago, should I become a med spa? I'd say, yeah, go for it. If you ask me now, I'm going to say, no, not right now. There's just too many of us in not enough clients to go around in this economy. I mean, I'm not going to
Yeah.
get dark or whatnot about a recession or if there is or isn't one, but people are not spending their money like they did last year. And that might come back next year. That might be better next year. But as of now, there are not enough people spending disposable income to cover us all.
Okay. Wow. Very good piece of advice too. And that happened in just a span of 4 years. 4 years
Yeah,
ago, it was a different scenario
absolutely.
entirely.
Yeah. And listen, what I'll tell you is I keep it real. Like I'm not, if you ask me next year, should I open a med spa? I'll take a look at the economy and I'll take a look at demand and I'll say, yeah or no.
Mhm.
I'm the kind of person who'll keep it real.
My gosh. Chris, you have been so open and such a wealth of information.
Well, thank you so
And I
much.
really appreciate having you on. And
I had a great time
you're
today.
so lovable too.
Oh,
So
thank you. I had such a great time today. And, in a couple months, things will change and we can do this all over again.
yes, let's do it all over again. I would really enjoy that. I'm so glad that we were able to do this and to meet, at least
Absolutely,
virtually. One day, I'd like to meet you in person,
for sure.
and that'll happen. All right, then. So, any final words of advice? I know you've given us
No,
quite a
my
bit.
only final bit of advice is keep your head high and stay true to yourself.
Okay, short, sweet, and powerful.
Absolutely.
Right then, you heard it, everybody. So, we're going to have Chris back in a few months, and then he'll
Absolutely.
tell us
Well
all
done.
about his new enterprise, and we'll have him on again to tell us even more pearls of wisdom.
Goodbye,
All right,
everyone.
then. All right. Thank you, Chris. Goodbye, and thank you again. We appreciate you so much.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. So that's Chris Balby out of the Philadelphia area, but you heard him. He will fly anywhere if you're willing to fly him out to teach you his methods. He's been open with us, and his successes they speak for themselves. Do reach out to him. I put his contact information on the ticker tape that you can see below me. And also, we'd like to thank you and invite you to listen to us again next week. and we'll have more for you. So, in the meantime, stay beautiful and be blessed and have a very, very happy holiday. Thank you so much.